What's up, guys? Part-Time Gamer Dad here. I'm back from my cruise, and today I'm giving you my review of Elimination Chamber 2025. Now, I am filming this on Monday, March 3rd, and when I was creating my schedule of what to film this week, I said I will push off Elimination Chamber to Monday. I would typically do a review video on Monday anyways, but I mean, it's Elimination Chamber. We'll figure out who the number one contenders are. Nothing too crazy is going to happen, right? I messed up. Okay, so most of you know by now, but there was a really big event that happened at the end of the show, and we will get to that. And I am going to give an actual rating and review of what happened at the end of the show. But let's start off with where the show started, which was the Women's Elimination Chamber to determine the number one contender for Rhea Ripley's WWE Women's World Heavyweight Championship, although they are teasing that it could be Io Sky, but I think we all know it's going to be Rhea Ripley. Because in this match, we saw Bianca Belair win the right to challenge the world champ at WrestleMania 41. And we've all been clamoring for this Rhea versus Bianca match on the main roster ever since they both got called up, and especially since we've seen Rhea Ripley come into her own. Bianca Belair kind of became the de facto, ideal NXT call-up, especially from the women's side. She had all those matches at back-to-back WrestleManias against the four horsewomen, very similar to what Rhea Ripley's been doing in previous years, defeating Charlotte at 39 and then Becky at 41. And so now we have this really interesting dynamic of that match, which I think everybody's really excited for. I didn't really particularly care for Bianca winning, but the match itself was incredible. Obviously, we started off really strong with Jade Cargill interrupting the beginning of the match before they had officially closed the chamber door as Naomi and Liv Morgan were about to start fighting. And everybody was like, all right, so you're going to take out Liv Morgan, which I feel like the majority of fans knew that that wasn't what was going to happen, that Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez were not actually responsible. I think we've all felt that it was Bianca and potentially Naomi being responsible for taking out Jade Cargill, I'll get there, out a few months ago. Now, here's the thing that I think is interesting. I don't think Naomi is the actual perpetrator. I think it was Bianca Belair. And then we're going to see Naomi versus Jade Cargill. Bianca's going to ask her to keep her mouth shut because she has this title match at WrestleMania. And then after Naomi loses, then she'll reveal to Jade, say, listen, I can't keep my mouth shut anymore. It wasn't me. It was Bianca who ended up taking you out, and I could prove it. And she'll show the video. Maybe we'll get that before WrestleMania. But I think that kind of detracts from Rhea Ripley in all of this. So that's kind of my one beef with it, is if this detracts from the World Championship match and that not being the focus, that's kind of a bummer. And we could have had a much more interesting match with Rhea Ripley and somebody else. Now, all the pieces of the match were really well constructed. I really feel like Liv Morgan was the MVP in a number of ways. She took a beating. She was in there from the get-go, lasted till the end. And there was, everybody really played their part well. Bayley, Roxanne Perez, obviously Naomi, Bianca. Alexa Bliss getting taken out before even the end of the chamber. I don't know. I didn't feel great about that. But it would be interesting to see maybe Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross challenge Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan, for the women's tag team titles at WrestleMania. So if that's where we're going from the story after Liv pinned Alexa Bliss, I'm here for it. Now, all that being said, great as a match as it was, Bianca Belair was probably the one I was least keen on winning this match because I know we're going to go somewhere with Jade and Naomi, and I have a fear of it detracting from the World Championship program, like I said earlier. So it does knock down the match a little bit for me, but I cannot deny that this chamber match was really, really well put together, really well executed. And because of all that, I give it 4.25. It probably is a 4.5 star match, but listen, I got to stay true to my convictions. Bianca Belair was the last person I wanted to see win this match, and she won. And I have some fears around what that means as we head into WrestleMania season, but cannot deny the efforts that these women put on. Might be the best women's chamber of all time. I give it 4.25. Next up, we have Trishy time, which is Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton taking on Nia Jax, Candice LeRae. This was the most inconsequential match on the card. It was a decent match. It felt like a Raw main event, if I'm being honest with you, which is fine. Sometimes you need those kind of matches, especially after a chamber match with a really crazy, hectic beginning with Jade Cargill coming in and destroying Naomi. So you got to bring the crowd down a little bit. But they're in Toronto, so they love Trish Stratus. Tiffany Stratton is over everywhere she goes. Nia Jax is a great foil to any kind of babyface, and Candice LeRae brings in a lot experience and athleticism and good character work, quite honestly, to the match as well. So not a whole lot to say about this match. I thought it was the right outcome with Tiffany and Trish winning the match. Obviously, I had predicted that Tiffany would get the pin, and she did. She pinned Nia Jax. Maybe that kind of puts the final nail in the coffin around this whole Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax feud, and we can move on properly. We're in WrestleMania season. It is Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton. Let's focus on that. Let's build a good story. Let's really, really cement the fact that Charlotte is a heel that nobody likes, and Tiffany Stratton is the new babyface who's got a little bit of edge, a little bit of narcissistic behavior, but at the end of the day, she is still for the people, and she is really over with everywhere she goes. Like I said before, I really think that she will be able to put on quite a triumphant, valiant babyface effort like we saw at Elimination Chamber, and I think she'll retain, but we'll save that for my prediction video when we get to WrestleMania 41. Oh, and I guess I should give you my rating. 3 stars out of 5. Like I said, felt like a Raw main event. Was a match that I felt like could probably have benefited more if it was on a Raw. But we needed to fill up this card a little bit with matches that kept us excited. Like I said, we're in Toronto. You know Trish was going to be on the card regardless. Next up, it was Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn in this unsanctioned match. Now, the greatest unsanctioned match of all time is Shawn Michaels versus Triple H at SummerSlam 2002. I will die on that hill. I know there's been some other great unsanctioned matches, especially recently, but to me, Triple H, Shawn Michaels at 2002 SummerSlam, that is the greatest unsanctioned match of all time. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that you really got the sense that these two guys wanted to kill each other. I never got the sense of that from Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, at least until the very, very end. Actually, in the post-match more than anything. Now, yes, we had multiple power bombs onto the apron from Kevin Owens to Sami Zayn. Yes, we brought out a barbed wire chair, which... Can anybody else just back me up here? Didn't it look like it was just painted on? Like the barbed wire wasn't really barbed wire. It looked like it was just a painting of barbed wire on a chair. Maybe that's just me, but it looks kind of funky. I did like the aesthetic of bringing the lights down and making it seem a little bit more, this is not WWE produced. And then kind of the urgency as refs were getting taken out and as Kevin Owens became more and more unhinged, we did have authority figures come out from the back to try to kind of stop Kevin Owens and say, hey man, like, you got to stop, because at the end of the day, even though it's not sanctioned, they're still WWE contracted employees and wrestlers, and so they don't want to lose somebody like a Sami Zayn, and also they care about him as a human being. They care about Kevin Owens as a human being. There's a lot of pieces here that really help you buy into the fact that this is a blood feud, but it wasn't quite on the same level of a blood feud as a Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and if you want to point to a more recent feud, a Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page. Now, in this match, there was kind of a tale of two matches. You had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn kind of doing the brawl, but kind of taking the weapons out of it a little bit more. It wasn't as fast-paced. We fought through the crowd. We knew that nothing really, significant was going to happen in that moment. And that's what kind of gets frustrating. It's like a bloodline rules match. You know that there's not going to be a finish until everybody comes in, interferes in the ring, in the match, and takes each other out. Like, that's kind of the frustrating thing, is when it's predictable. That's what makes things like Elimination Chamber matches not necessarily predictable, because you don't know when things are happening, like a Jade Cargill coming in at the beginning and taking out Naomi. So this match, really solid. I thought a lot of the pieces right at the end were really well told. And then, of course, we had Randy Orton return after Kevin Owens defeated Sami Zayn after all of those power bombs on the apron. Now, I would have preferred to see Randy Orton actually come in and cost Kevin Owens a match. I thought that would have probably forwarded their story a little bit more. But, man, I predicted this, and I'm so happy they're teasing it. Randy Orton's going to punt Kevin Owens. He was about to do it at Elimination Chamber. He took him out with an RKO, was going for the punt. Kevin Owens rolled out, escaped. Sami Zayn is also being taken away on a stretcher. Randy Orton is going to hit the punt on Kevin Owens at WrestleMania after he beats him. Again, I will go through my predictions down the road. I'm getting ahead of myself. This match, to me, was it better than the Elimination Chamber match at the beginning of the show? I don't think so. I think it's 4 1/4. I think that there's definitely a sense of urgency that comes into these kind of matches where you have to have the sense of, we have all this buildup and all of this like animosity, and I'm not going to be proud of myself for what I do to you. You're not going to be proud of what what you do to me. Like, okay, yeah, we got some of that, but we didn't get enough of it. And I'm not calling for it to be an unhinged, violent fest of just blood everywhere. And I think maybe that's probably what partly held it back, because we saved the blood for a later storyline. But there was never ever a sense of we are going to a place where this is going to end careers. This was, okay, we are really hurting each other, but also at the same time, the sense of I want to kill you wasn't there as much as in other really well done unsanctioned matches. Again, can't stop talking about Triple H, Shawn Michaels. That's a 5-star match. So 4.25, I think is appropriate for this match. I'm excited to see what happens with Randy Orton, Kevin Owens at WrestleMania, and what's going to happen with Sami Zayn. Is he going to be out for a while? Will he come back after WrestleMania? Or will he? I mean, he came back after that package power driver after 2 weeks. Are we going to see him come back for some kind of program? Will he be involved in Kevin Owens or Randy Orton? That remains to be seen. But all that being said, this match, 4.25 stars. Okay, so before we get into the chamber match, I want to be very clear about something. What I'm about to say is a 2-part review. So we're going to have the match, and we're going to have what happened after the match separately. So focusing on just the match, the number 1 contenders elimination chamber match to determine who will go to WrestleMania and wrestle Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. We had John Cena, CM Punk, Logan Paul, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, and Seth freaking Rollins. Holy cow, can we just talk about the star power in this match? It reminded me of like the 2005 New Year's Revolution Elimination Chamber. We had Triple H, Chris Benoit, Jericho, Batista, Randy Orton. Shawn Michaels was a special guest referee. Those kind of matches, to me, feel like you have something special. And the only way that you could screw it up is by making it a little quick, a little too quick, and leaving the intensity and the storytelling to take place more at the end of the match, which is kind of what happened here. Again, a match of 2 halves, but this match was executed better than Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. I really thought that this could be the best Elimination Chamber match of all time. It didn't quite reach those heights. However, it was really well done. We saw Drew McIntyre get eliminated first. I thought that was a great storytelling device. I'm really curious to see where Drew McIntyre is going to go at WrestleMania. I have a feeling, and I'm not loving it, but I do see where we're probably going to get Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. Give us Drew McIntyre versus LA Knight. The story's already there as just individuals, not even as wrestlers, as characters, but as people. It stems back from the Royal Rumble. We had that great promo from LA Knight where he kind of poked fun at Drew McIntyre. You have a very organic built-in story there. We could go that route maybe, but I don't think we're going to. Then we had Damian Priest get eliminated by Logan Paul by hitting that frog splash off the top of the chamber pod after Drew McIntyre hit a Claymore as retaliation for getting eliminated by Damian Priest. And then we had a GTS from CM Punk to Logan Paul. I was really happy to see Logan Paul get taken out in the first half of the match. I thought that was super important because otherwise there's just going to be more organic heat. Everybody already hates the guy. He came out waving an American flag in Canada, which I'm not going to get political here, but obviously he is trying to garner that heat, and that would have even gotten more heat if he had lasted to the final 2. But when we got to the final 3, it was the 3 guys that we thought these are the most probably legitimate options when it comes to who's going to face Cody Rhodes. But I think we all knew Seth Rollins wasn't going to make it, and he didn't. He got double teamed by CM Punk and John Cena to get eliminated, and then we came down to Cena and CM Punk. We came back 14 years. We rolled back the clock. We're at Money in the Bank 2011, and we're looking at these 2 guys. We're looking at these grizzled veterans. These one guy who is going for glory. He is going for legacy. He is going for a record-breaking 17th championship. And how does he get there? Elimination Chamber is probably his last opportunity outside of maybe something like Money in the Bank. So is he going to finish his story, if you will? And then we have CM Punk, a man who's never been in a WrestleMania main event. This is his opportunity. Him and Cody Rhodes, 2 men who helped really set AEW ablaze. Obviously, Cody Rhodes helped found it. CM Punk, he re-energized the excitement around AEW while he was there. They came to WWE. They came to greener pastures. They are going to headline a WrestleMania within 3 years of them leaving the other company. Is this a storyline that in the route they're going to go? And where does that leave Paul Heyman's favor? Which at that point, once we got down to Cena and Punk, it became very clear to me that Cena was going to win, because then why does Punk even need the favor for Heyman? Which I think we will get here leading up to WrestleMania, because whether that's Roman versus Seth and Punk wants to get some retaliation against Seth Rollins, who cost him the chamber by stomping his head in, and then Cena putting Punk in the STF to cause him to pass out, which, by the way, did you hear him say sorry really quietly? Sneaky man, we weren't sorry. And then Punk passes out, or is he going to try to get into the WWE Championship match between Cody Rhodes and John Cena? CM Punk would be the third man. We love a good triple threat at WrestleMania, and it's been a while. It's been, 4 years since we saw Edge, Daniel Bryan, and Roman Reigns in that fantastic triple threat at WrestleMania 37. So here is my rating for the chamber match where John Cena won the number one contendership to Cody Rhodes' WWE Championship. It is 4.5 stars. I think it's the best match of the night. I think it's in terms of quality, on equal, if not a little bit better than the women's chamber. But like I said earlier, the women's winner, I just really didn't agree with. Whereas John Cena was absolutely the right call, especially because we had the segment of the year so far, which, yeah, we're only in 2 months. But guys, this segment was incredible on a number of levels. Number one, you had John Cena celebrating the fact he's going to WrestleMania. He's going to main event. He's going to get the title shot against Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes comes out, congratulates him. And then we have Travis Scott, which I'm going to get this out of the way now. Travis Scott being in this segment was the only issue with it, but it was a major issue. Travis Scott should never step in a WWE ring again. And I mean this passionately. The guy's trash. He's absolute trash. He ruined this segment on multiple levels. He took away some of the legitimacy, some of the actual stakes of what was happening in terms of he's being goofy and he's waving around, whatever back there. And he actually slapped Cody legitimately. And he interrupted moments of trying to stretch Cody's body out so that he could get whipped by The Rock. But he kind of tried to bring he was ruining important moments and he ruined the pacing of the segment. But I'm going to ignore him because to me, he is not a wrestler. He's not part of the WWE canon. Get him out of here. Never see him again, period. And I sincerely mean that. Travis Scott, you do not belong with WWE. You actually diminish and devalue the product. Okay, so that's Travis Scott. Will be cool, I'm sure, down the road. But in terms of the rest of the segment, The Rock comes out, asks for Cody Rhodes to give him his soul. Cody Rhodes, the triumphant babyface as ever, says, listen, I'm not going to give you my soul because I don't want to have a soul, actually. I gave my soul to this ring. I gave my soul to these people. It is no longer mine, so you can't have it. And by the way, Rock, I'm not going to say it here, but obviously, go F yourself. And John Cena, I love John, but sometimes don't you think that he kind of gives a little bit of he's a little cartoony. And he's always been that way. He's a goofball. But holy cow. Then we had the moment where Cena and Cody go to hug, and Cena's being goofy, all babyface smiles, and gives the look. He gives the look to The Rock, who goes like that, and then we get the backup, kick in the crotch, in the gonads, from John Cena to Cody Rhodes. John Cena has sold his soul to the devil himself. We are going back 24 years to Austin and Vince McMahon. Rock is the new Vince. Cena is the new Austin. And we are seeing these two just larger than life personas, two pillars of the industry for the last 25 years come together. The Rock says, John, I want you to be my champion. Go win that title, and we will make this last year of yours the best it's ever been. You will leave on a high. You will ride off into the sunset with that title. It is my guarantee to you. I read a segment of an article where The Rock says, we talk about these terms in the wrestling world, this vernacular, if you will, and John Cena said to The Rock, thank you for the house, which is very interesting. Thank you for the house. Now, what does that mean? It means probably, and I'm sure I could Google this, but I'm on a rant, so let's go. I think what that means is the keys to the kingdom. You've given me it all. You've basically guaranteed me the championship, and I thank you for that. And The Rock is proud of John Cena. Now, why would John Cena have sold his soul to The Rock? Well, I think it's because after this year, John Cena has no more wrestling in him. He's only going to be in Hollywood. So what does that mean? Well, The Rock's going to get him in to all the roles, all the movies, all of the money and the fame, elevated finances that come along with the big blockbuster movies like The Rock has proven that he's very successful with. He is going to, partner with John Cena and give him that, but only if John will be his champion, which means John has to win the title at WrestleMania. And I'm not going to give you that prediction yet because I'm going to save that for my WrestleMania 41 prediction video. So Chamber 4.5 stars. This segment 10 out of 10. As long as you take all the Travis Scott out, otherwise it's like 9.5. But 10 out of 10. John Cena as a heel for the first time. It's not the first time ever, but the first time in 22 years. Actually, a little less than 22 years. He turned babyface in October of 2003 when he was on the path to Survivor Series, joining Team Angle to take on Team Lesnar on a random SmackDown where everybody got, you know, their licks in. Matt Morgan, Nathan Jones, Big Show, Brock Lesnar, and the eventual fifth member of that team, A-Train. This was after John Cena had won a match against Rey Mysterio by hitting a low blow and then AA and then turned babyface right away. So just want to show a little bit of my wrestling historian brain there. So 10 out of 10 for this segment. Cannot wait to see what happens with John Cena and Cody Rhodes. My brother and I are already texting about different ideas, different storylines, different paths you could go with this. This match is going to be epic. The storyline is going to be great. We are in WrestleMania season mode now, guys. This is the energy we want. I hate to say this, but Rock Cody never end. Like whatever other factors you need to bring into it, like a John Cena, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, whatever. Like, do not ever take this away, because this will feed families for generations. Hey guys, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Comment down below your thoughts on Elimination Chamber 2025. Is this heel turn of John Cena more significant than Hulk Hogan? I don't know about that, but it is definitely the best heel turn of the last, 29 years. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.